Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th game between Kaiserklein and Knuschelbär. Spawning at the east of the map. Spawning in the east of the map is indeed Knuschelbär on the Swedes, playing in the color blue. I will double check. I think the colors... okay, there's the colors. And spawning in on the north of the map, his opponent, Sam. Sorry, not Sam. I just see France. I'm like, Sam. No, this is not Sam. This is Kaiserklein, my friends. And we are in the best of 9 series in the 5th game. Currently, the score is 3-1 with Kaiser having a lead. Some people asking in the chat, where is Sam? Don't worry. I'm sure Sam is close by. I just see the French flag. I'm like, oh, it's Sam. No, it's not. It's not. So both players somewhat mirroring each other. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup, what we can come to expect from it. So a trading post for both players. We expect that Knuschelbär is probably going to be going for that semi-FF that we've so often seen him go for. Especially on this map, he did the same thing against H. A little bit of idle time here, so still a little bit of idle time. Probably going a little bit too aggressive with his wood collection in the early game. Kaiser picking up a 40 wood treasure. And really just doing a great job of collecting those goats. So if we have a look at how many goats he's got 2. Compared to Knusch, who has got... Is Knusch goatless? I repeat, suspect is goatless. I think Knusch is goatless. I can't see any goats. First shipment has now come in for Knuschelbär. We're going to see that 3 villages shipped in from the home city. There we go. We see it. We see the deck. It's the same deck that Knuschelbär has been running. He does now have light gun carriages in his deck instead of opting not to have it. But now we got a bit of a showdown happening. And one of the things, when you're showing down against the French, you got to be really careful, my friend. Because the French have got a scout that they can use. They can use it to pull and escape. They can use it to fight if they want and get that little bit of HP lead. And we see both of the Freitags going down in the south of the map. The reason why they're fighting down here is because there's these big treasures. 75 wood. There's another one here which isn't so big, but it definitely should be. And now this scout coming in. And Knuschelbär knows that this scout is coming in. So Knuschelbär is definitely making sure he gets on out of there. He's hightailing it out. It's going to mean that in the first age, Knuschelbär just really isn't able to deal with... Oh, that block feels so bad, doesn't it? Isn't able to deal... Oh my god, the French explorer getting blocked as well. He's not able to deal with the French in the early game. A second wood treasure. There was a wood treasure that spawned here, 40 wood. Another one, 40 wood spawning here. And looks like Knusch is trying to juke... Oh, did you guys just see that? Knusch tried to get this goat, and then the goat somehow went to Kaiserklein instead. I would have just deleted that goat or used it to block. And it went to Kaiserklein instead. What the heck? What the heck? And now, moving over to Kaiserklein's perspective, we see he's going for a 13 villager age up. And a bit of a block coming in from this caribou again. This is the 3rd block that a caribou has done around this corner. Age up is in queue. We've got the quartermaster in queue. Transition has arrived. Moving villagers over to wood. Probably going to be seeing that market drop down in transition with hunting dogs and potentially even placer mines researched before the age up is reached. On the other side of the map, Knuschelbär. Let's take a look at the deck of Kaiserklein. So a pretty standard deck here. We've got the 2 falconets, obviously. We've got refrigeration, no mercenary shipments, no 4 dragoons, which we wouldn't expect typically in a French deck, but now Knusch is moving for this wood treasure. Now, Sam never actually... Sorry. Oh my god, I just said Sam again! I'm so sorry, guys. Kaiserklein. I see the French flag and I'm just like, Sam. Kaiserklein didn't actually scout this big wood treasure in the south, so it means that Knusch is going to be able to do it without really having any punishment at all. Music is definitely a little bit low. I think that's normal though. We did turn it down. So now we've got 1 vill herding and every other villager is on wood. We've also got another villager that's building torps. Now we saw this in the H game. Looks like it's almost a bit of a repeat of that with the torps going down. These are line of sight torps. So curious whether we're going to see one out here as well, or whether we're just going to opt for this one. Let's have a look how good this torp is. It's a 0.35 torp. This torp here also being a 0.3 torp. So opting to go for a very, very greedy torp here instead of putting these on the coin mine. It will mean though, one of the things I have noticed is that when you do this, when you don't put your torp down on your coin mine, it's not going to be generating your coin resources. And at first you might be like, well, obviously, Drongo. But you need to keep in mind, okay, never mind. You need to keep in mind that when it comes to getting your first batch of Corollians out, that those resources are very important. So it means you've got to stick a few more villagers over onto to coin to compensate for that. Now we've got this villager being punched down by the scout. Do we see the scout have the favor returned and the villager turn and do some punching of his own, hitting him with that blunderbuss? We've got the first card coming in for Kaiserklein. It is the 4 Krudabars. So going for a bit more of a standard build, dropping down this barracks in a pretty neutral position, I would say. Not overly aggressive, like definitely not up here, but at the same time quite forward, so wanting to put out a bit of pressure. Probably going to be looking to do a 15 Musk semi, maybe take this second trading post and potentially look to do a stagecoach after taking out the trading post from Knuschelbär. So we'll have to have a look. Steel Traps is coming in, and the age up for Knuschelbär has just landed. He's aged up with the Governor. I did not pick this one up, Governor. I actually thought he'd be going up with the Naturalist, but obviously respecting that Sam might be playing aggressive on this map, picking France, you can definitely expect to see that happening. But an interesting spot here for the outpost, not opting to go close, and definitely not going to need to worry about any coin for his first batch from the barracks of Corollians, because... Did I say Sam again? Did I say Sam? Oh my god, did I say Sam again? Why am I so locked on Sam? Hey Sam, I'm going to be honest. I might have a thing for you. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I honestly think it's just gonna be the French flag. I see French. I see Kamchatka. I'm like, oh, this is Samwise territory. We've got the 4 torp wagons coming out now. I'm just gonna say for our Swedish player, instead of naming them, and we've got musketeers heading to the north side. A little bit of a slow march that's going on right here. Probably need to fix that one up after the game. Maybe a restart is in order for the Drongo. But definitely looking to siege this down. They know that it's here. The native scout earlier in the game did scout this one out. Native scout's doing a bit of work in this game, really uncovering quite a bit of the map, but not paying attention to the most important part, which is down here. This is where I would be expanding if I'm Noosh. Noosh typically is going to be expanding on coin mines, but I like that he's put this torp up here and he's somewhat attracted the attention of Kaiserklein, because it means that it kind of leaves him free to expand along the south. I'd be curious to see whether there's actually any more expansion going down out there, but we do see the Explorer from Noosh. Oh my god, sorry. Explorer from Noosh does go down. I'm just going to be quickly changing. I'm sure you guys can see how fast that's moving. I don't want it moving that fast, so we're just going to be changing this back. Scroll speed to 40%, camera acceleration down to 0, because I think, yeah, that's much better. It doesn't move it anywhere nearly as fast, or as far rather. But we can see that Noosh is expanding down towards the south of the map. 700 wood on the way for Noosh, arriving at his torp, doing the correct thing. Unfortunately, landing in the worst spot. I always feel like the big cords always seem to land in the worst spot possible. 10 musketeers now do appear to be sieging quite slowly. But typically, I want like this to land here, so both of them can be gathered. But I think it's only the one that's gathering. Oh no, it is the 2. Never mind. Never mind. Drongo's just a little bit crazy today. And now we've got the first batch of Corollians going out and meeting, looking to avoid getting snared by the Explorer, knowing that that is the real threat. And now the second batch of Corollians coming out, only getting 4 of them out, not having enough villagers on coin, up to 140 torp population though. So really quite a reasonable amount of torp population, and the Corollians moving into the middle, but look like they're about to open fire. They open fire. I don't know why they're falling back. They should be up in hand combat against these. That's what I would definitely be doing. That hand combat 19 versus 13. Absolutely shred them. And 20 melee resist compared to 30 melee resist. I would be getting up on top of them nice and personal. Blueberry's coming in at 160 torp population. There's 170 torp population. So that torp that we just saw built, I'm not sure exactly which one it was. There was a torp here, down here, that was just built. So this torp here, it's only got 200 food in its blueberry bush compared to the 400 that all the other ones have got. And now we see the crossbow timing begin to reach. If we go switch over to... I was going to say Sam. If we go and switch over to Kaiser's perspective, we can actually see that Kaiser is macroing behind this for a pretty solid age up time. The next shipment is undoubtedly going to be 700 coin. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let's see it. Let's see it. We still don't see it. Okay, we're too focused on it. That's all right. I'm sure it's going to come in. In the meantime, though, we've got a bit of a fight ensuing. There's the 700 coin. Don't worry. Drongo wouldn't miss that. And so this outpost is definitely not long for the world. We've got the caribou that are obviously migrating away from the base of the Swedish player. Very, very commonly happens. But a villager getting picked off right here. So a consequence of the way that Knusch has put down these torps. Not really giving enough space here for the villager to be collecting resources, but the crossbowmen beginning to push in. Are they going to be able to take out the second? No, they do not. But there are more villagers down here to the south underneath collecting wood. Looks like they managed to survive despite not having their greatcoats in. Harrison would be very upset. Love seeing that greatcoats in. But no market yet from the Swedish player. We get another batch coming in, double batches of muskets, and it looks like Kaiser is really going for the kill here. The leather cannons popping out on the other side of the town center. Really good positioning. Villagers being chased in the south. But I don't know whether it's worth the trade. Swedish villagers really aren't that important when you've got this many torps. But what is important is definitely your mass and definitely doing damage to the Swedish player. And he hasn't been able to really do that. He's still got 10 Carolians, still got 3 leather cannons. Oh my god, I didn't even see there's an artillery foundry that's been put down. Oh my lord, Knuschelbär's taken a page out of Trongo's book and gone for this early artillery foundry. Leather cannon in the back. Really preparing. Another villager goes down. We're down to 17 villagers for Knuschelbär. So despite losing these villagers, Knuschelbär's economy still seems like it's in a relatively good space. The main issue that he's going to have is if he is training these leather cannons, he's not going to have enough resources to get up to the third age. Another villager going down. Sam just... oh my god. Kaiserklein really... I didn't say Sam. I said Samantha's friend Kaiserklein is really on point. Missing a couple of potential shots that go off here, but managing to take out 4 of the muskets, one of them getting away. It looks like he's not going to be able to get away for long because there is a bit of a little bit of a speed bonus that they've got, but I think that musketeer is going to get away. At least it's going to be APM that's invested by Knusch. That's somewhat being wasted. And now I do think we had this leather cannon queued, but it has been cancelled. The coin is now being gathered. It spawns in a pretty good spot. I'd be happy with that if I was Knusch. 8 coin a second. Very, very nice. And now, the question is Knusch going to be able to time his age up before Kaiser does? Kaiser's already in queue. He's got Gangsaw on the way. That's a big thing for Kaiser. He's got a shipment ready so that when he reaches the third age, he's going to be able to ship 2 falconets. Probably going to be going for 2 falcons. I think against this composition, you'd want to be going for falconets. Time to get those falconets out nice and early, and just really be able to answer the leather cannons. I'm curious though whether we're going to see Knusch go for the light carriages. Knusch's macro looking a little bit better this time, especially when he's training light cannons. Light cannons? Leather cannons. Apologies. When he's training leather cannons, but definitely going idle. Well, not really going idle, but not really having enough time to macro. Now getting up with 800 food in the queue, or in the bank. Only got 20 villagers though. Compare that to Kaiserklein, who's sitting on 27, and those are Coureur de Bars. So it means that with the Coureur de Bar, 27 Coureur de Bars, probably about 34, 35 villagers. And it looks like the leathers are moving into position just very aggressively. It's saying, crossbows, don't come near me. Don't come near me. I will take you down. And 2 falconets now being shipped from the home city. We move back into Knuschelbär's base. We see what he's up to. He's got a leather cannon that's training. I love this. I love this. Is he really going to look for a timing? And charging towards the north? I'm not sure exactly what he's aiming to do with that charge. Am I missing something? Is there something that's going on? I don't think that there is. I think he's just charging towards the north. Looking to get that little bit of distance added. And a native scout here being picked up or being utilized by Kaiserklein now that outpost has gone down. It does actually see stealth. But a pretty good timing coming in now. Pikemen in queue. Interesting choice. I didn't expect to see pikemen in queue. Not especially after veteran musketeers have been... researched. But what we're going to see is probably a little bit of a repeat of what we saw in the Knuschelbär and H show match. And that was the falconets up against the leather cannons. Now these are going to be fully upgraded big boys. We've got 5 leather cannons sitting here at the back. So they're going to have plenty of time. Market is sitting down at the front. Who needs a market? Just put it out the front. Only really use it to buy wood. That's pretty much it. And then from there, we're going to be shipping light gun carriages from the home city. It's going to speed up the leather cannons, apologies. Going to make them a lot easier. Beautiful micro coming in. First, second crossbows goes down as well. Falconets on the wrong side of the market right here. Definitely the wrong side of the market. They want to be on this north side where the leather cannons are. They want to be trying to take off shots before that light gun carriages comes in. Right now, they one-shot a leather cannon. But when that light gun carriages comes in, it's going to be 2 shots. So for anybody wondering, what does light gun carriages do? Why am I talking about it so much? The reason why I'm talking about it is because it's going to upgrade these leather cannons into guard cannons. In the 3rd age, you can get guard units. That's why I'm talking about it. So do we see it come in? We see Jaegers immediately trained in the barracks. How does he get... What did he go up with that he can train Jaegers in his barracks? How can he train Jaegers in his barracks? Is it because he's reached the fortress age? But now we do see those light gun carriages coming in as well. I'm going to need to go away and just research that. I don't really know how he's doing that because I don't think he's sent Jaegers from the home city yet. Did he? He must have slow aged. That's the only thing that I can possibly think of. I just assumed he was going with the exiled prince. I can't think of any other reason. Now, Knuscha's being split multiple angles. We've got the Dragoons in the north, and in the south of the map, we've got the Pikes. That's why the Pikes were being trained. You wondered why were the Pikes being trained, Drongo? That's why the Pikes were being trained. Now, we've got a huge batch of leathers that are probably about to come out. We've got one, probably another second one that could be put into queue. Don't see it, just the one. So he's got that critical number of leather cannons. I think 6 leather cannons is probably the best bet. And now, light gun carriages is in, and you get to see these beautiful blue wheels that Knuschelbär's got. And I tell you what, these are riding low. Look at that. Isn't that just... That is absolutely gorgeous. These 5 pikes are doing work. This is exactly what you need to be doing against Sweden. Right here. This is how you counterplay Sweden, okay? But you need to be doing this a bit earlier. 12 minutes is a bit late. Okay, so he's lost 1 pikeman. Is he going to lose a 2nd pikeman, though? Almost. He almost loses a 2nd pikeman. Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure why it's doing that. He loses a 2nd pikeman. These are going to run away. And now the APM burden is on the Swedish player to respond to that, because he can just go send them off into the fog of war, chase them back to wherever he wants. And so now he's done that. And so now Sweden's got to react to it again. And he just sends them off. And in the north of the map, we have the Dragoons up here sieging away at the top, but it looks like they've given up. Hacker pellets coming in from the home city as well. I really can't believe that I actually missed that he was sending in, or that he was aging slowly. I can't believe that. Hacker pellets going to be able to just take care of these pikes, but the Dragoons are out, going to be able to deal with the hacker pellets. Kaiserklein obviously realizing that there are hacker pellets in deck, and to deal with them, I'm going to need to be chasing them around with my Dragoons. And that's happening. And Kaiserklein really just looking at, or respecting the potential of the leather cannons from Knuschelbär, and as a result, just retreating back, saying, my timing isn't going to be able to work because you've reached the 3rd age, and now I'm going to be in a bit of a trouble. And speaking of a bit of trouble, Kaiserklein is forcing Knuschelbär's macro to be a little bit off, I would say. Just really preventing him from doing what he wants. And as a result, Knusch's got a whole lot of resources that he still hasn't spent yet. Now, keep in mind, his score is up by, what, 2k? 3k at this point? But that's more than 2,000 resources that he's got banked up. So I would say, out on the field right now, these players are quite even. If we go and look at Kaiserklein's perspective, he's got less than 500 resources that he's got banked up. But he needs to be careful. The infantry guns may potentially get picked off by Dragoons. In the north of the map, we've got Coureur de Bois being picked off by the Karolians. Karolians do not have the snap lock upgrade, so it means they're going to have to get in nice and close. We see the Explorer snaring, though, and more units coming in. Jaegers going to be potentially doing a bit of damage here. And most definitely, it looks like Knusch's in a great position, being able to fend off the Musketeers in the early game, expand without too much of a hassle. The pikemen coming in a little bit too late, and really one of the things I identified that Kaiserklein wasn't doing was that he wasn't stopping any expansion in the south. Just a couple of Musketeers, just 2 or 3 Musketeers, and I think he would have been absolutely fine stopping that. But as a result, it means Kaiserklein's going to make another error and lose another villager. He goes down, his body just fizzes out of control. And at this point, it's a little bit of a lull, but we do have a culverin moving in, and I think this is the correct play. Ideally, you want to see 2 culverins. It's going to really be the difference in taking out the large mass of leather cannons. So we've got, how many leather cannons have we got out on the field now? We've still got 6 leather cannons out on the field, but a culverin of his own being trained up. Still 1,800 food at this point. Do we see 1,000 coins shipped from the home city? It's blackberries instead. I would have thought potentially we could see 1,000 coin from the home city and then into a 2 Falk age up. Potentially. But that is not a problem, because I just wish he would do something with all this food. Right now, he could just make 4 leather cannons. It gets a little bit hard to control, though. That's the problem. And when you've got a lot of leather cannons, they kind of bug out. If anybody's seen my games, they would know that with the leather cannons, when you've got them on attack move, they can bug out quite crazily. And the native scout now moving to the north as well. The explorer going down for the Swedes, so no real threat coming out for that, and it looked like a town center maybe potentially going to be placed down, and that's what the Swedish Explorer was doing, trying to secure that, but now being denied. Knuschelbär having over 600 wood, so definitely a possibility. 100 resources being sent to the opponent. So now we see the second town center. So there was indeed a town center that was going up to the north of the map. We see these hacker pellets still alive, still being annoying in melee mode. A little bit of an engagement potentially coming out right now. The Culverin's moving into position. Take out the first of the leather cannons. The second leather cannon looking like it's about to be lined up by the Falconets. A lot of damage coming out onto these. I think we just need to see one shot. So really he's only got down to 3 leathers now, despite this one existing. He's got 4 HP, so just a stiff breeze is going to be knocking him over. And Noosh needs to be careful. Noosh, wake up. Don't throw the game just yet, my friend. You got plenty of time. You got to try and win this one. And the Culverin really just taking it off. And I like the position of Kaiserklein. At this point, I'm looking at Kaiserklein's army, and I'm thinking he's got 15 skirms, he's got 10 crossbows, and he's got more calves. This is really what it comes down to. Had you had 2 calves, you would have been winning this fight. But now, you don't have calves. Your opponent's got 4 falconets, a whole bunch of dragoons. Sure, there's hacker pellets that are in your base killing your dudes, but who needs hacker pellets? And who needs those dudes when you've got no army? And that's exactly what's about to happen. There's so much siege in here. He's going to be able to protect it incredibly well. Do we have Culverin in queue right now? We have 1 Culverin in queue. You can sell your food, Knusch. Just sell all of it right now, and just I want to see like 5 calves just pop out. Noosh, what are you doing, bud? 2k food, and he's pushing into your base. Oh my god, this hurts. And now just right-clicking instead of unpacking them straight away. Sure, he's going to be able to take out 1 falconet, but is he going to potentially lose these to the dragoons as they're popping in? Oh. Hello? Okay, we're still here, A little bit of lag, still looking good. And Falconet's just doing the Falconet thing with the Culverin, unpacking all the way. This is top tier gameplay, by the way, the definitive edition right here. We see the unpack and then the repack coming out. And so now we've got the infantry guns on the back line, managing to take it out. A lot of the Falconets look like they may potentially be going down. And the question is, at this point, how much damage has been done over on Kaiserklein's side? He's down to 25 villages, and I can only assume that in this position, Kaiserklein has actually resigned. I can only assume. I didn't see a GG. If we do go down, ladies and gentlemen, I just remember, if we go down, do not expect that, or expect that we will be back, okay? Risotto says, correct assumption. Yeah, this raid over this side was pretty darn big. I'm pretty confident that there would have been a couple of Kurita bars that went down. 25 Kurita bars compared to 26 settlers. So that is Noosh's first win. Honestly, what does that come down to? It really just comes down to these guys unpacking, I think. Let's have a look and take a look at the resources for the last game. Resources looking relatively fair. Kaiserklein falling a little bit down after around the 11th minute mark. And then towards the game falling off, 22k versus 25k. Let's have a look at the villager count. Oh, yeah, hate to see it. 35 villagers down to 24. Oh my god, that's a raid of 11 Kurita. 11 Kurita. I honestly don't think Kaiserklein would have resigned in that position if he hadn't lost those Kurita.